please leave the facility?
Right.
Thirsty? Have a glass of champagne and help us make a toast to a future made
Brighter.
by Lightmatter. Goodbye. The CEO of Lightmatter Technologies would like to welcome bankers, investors, and all of those who have doubted him to this launch event. To those of you on the public tour, hello. No introduction.
He is the beating heart of this mountain, the greater of two minds, and the man who sacrificed his leg for White Robe.
Unbelievable. There's more of you. Were you a part of the public tour? If so, I have just evacuated your tour guide. Don't panic. Now, your inability to follow evacuation orders is truly astounding, but I need you to pay attention. First off, walk through that door. Excellent. You have already exceeded my expectations. Wait, it's dark in there. You might trip. Let me light your path. The door requires 2 people to reopen. Proceed to my security manager's office. Now, I presume you know how buttons work. Impressive. If you continue like this, I might just hire you to mop the floor. Now scurry along, and you will reach the elevator to the exit. It's simple. I know it's difficult not to stare at the scientific wonder that is Lightmatter, but the launch event is over. Don't worry, my facility is sturdy. Get to the elevator. Excellent. The elevator will take you directly to our outpost. When you get there, journalists will immediately try to put words in your mouth. But stand strong and tell them that Virgil, the CEO of Lightmatter Technologies, saved your life and that the side effects are under control. Goodbye. Can you hear me? It's even on. Shadows are dangerous. Stay away from the shadow. Oh, let me fix this. Excellent. It's working. So, simple is no longer an option, neither for you nor for me. This was a monumental failure on behalf of my elevator technicians. But don't worry, you will reach the exit of this facility and they will reach the end of their employment. An escape plan is in development. Until then, keep in mind that the shadows can kill you. Think the floor is lava, just with shadows that absorb organic material. Everything around you might look bizarre through your eyes, but it all has a purpose. In this room, we wash crystals with over 1,000 bars of pressure. If it helps your comprehension, you may call it the power shower. All right now, here's the plan. The elevator dropped you to the center of the mountain, and the only functioning exit is at the top. Follow the green exit signs and you'll get there. Just do exactly as I say and you will be fine. If you want to complain about that, well, I can't hear you. Just realize how fortunate you are. You've extended your tour through Lightmatter technologies. Ah, excellent. Do you see that lamp down there? Pick it up. Handy, isn't it? Focus groups called it heavy and clunky. I called them weak and stupid. In the hands of a capable miner, that lamp turns into one of their finest tools. Listen, I know that the shadows might look intimidating to you. A deep black obsidian-like tar that will devour you whole. But they're just simple gravity-bound anomalies. A temporary side effect of Lightmatter. You see, all of mankind's greatest breakthroughs had their kinks, and these kinks are manageable. If they weren't, I wouldn't be here in the facility fixing them. You know that I was the first to wander through these caves? Although I came here with my former partner, Arthur, I was the one who discovered the photon crystals. You might have heard that the side effects of those same crystals cost me my leg. Wrong. I conquered a mountain for the first photon crystal. Sheer persistence and willpower cost me my leg. A small price to pay for Lightmatter. Ah, there it is. Now, since you missed your tour, that giant beam of light you see is light matter. The source of that beam we call the core, a collection of massive photon crystals. It is so powerful that it shakes the very foundation of this facility. I still remember my first successful prototype. The beam seemed so solid, it looked like light had become matter. I built on that, and now look at it. A sustainable and renewable energy. What exactly were you doing? Wait, are you a health and safety inspector? The irony that you didn't notice the blaring. So, Health and Safety Inspector, let me do your job for you. You see that giant piece of metal moving back and forth? It's a top-grade mineral decontaminator. I installed it as soon as I heard that my employees were losing their hair. Once installed, cellular degradation fell by 37%. Inspector, I installed a fence around that decontaminator twice. My employees keep tearing it down to bet money on how many times they can run back and forth before the decontaminator closes. One of them bragged to me about his record of 6. I told him that I was impressed and fired him. Excellent. Our time together is almost at an end. There's a bridge right around the corner. Cross it, and you will be on a direct path to Sunshine. And my security manager, James. Oh yes, he was evacuated as well. I wouldn't dare risk his health and safety. Be careful with my lamps. At Lightmatter Technologies, we treat our inanimate objects with respect, not like those monsters of aperture science. If you're wondering why I built a lab inside a mountain, resilience. It was here before me, and it will be here after me. Just look around you, Inspector. We had an unprecedented event, and this living, breathing monument to science still stands. Before meeting James, don't be too intimidated by his physique. He is the human equivalent of this mountain. Well-built, dependable, and resilient. The bridge collapsed. That's why I don't trust you, inspectors. I built it up to code, to what was legally required of me, yet what good did it do? Let me figure out your options. I really don't have time for this. The new door will be open soon enough. A moment, Inspector. Yes, James, this is Virgil. I need... James, calm down, James. Just punch something. We will find your cat later. Now focus. I need details for a new evacuation route. The inspector didn't make it across the bridge. It collapsed. Must have pushed the button too hard. Yes. Uh-huh, I thought so. Plan out the rest of the route, and do it faster than last time. Goodbye, James. Inspector, the door is open. Run along now. Right, Inspector. Your failure to push a button has resulted in a change of plans. You will be taking a detour to another elevator. Now, Show some gratitude for the amount of effort I put into keeping you alive. Keep an eye out for James's cat, Lux. James wants to know that he's safe. You see, James can't function properly when he's sad. Listen, I have a limited amount of patience, and this detour is exhausting it. Lightmatter demands my attention. So, you'll be on your own for a little while. Just know that I admire your persistence. With everything you've been through, I would hate my life if I were you. Now, you'll survive as long as you stick to the green exit signs. Good luck.
My name is Ellen, and things here are... Okay. First off, I am really proud to be an engineer at Lightmatter Technologies. But I don't know what the truth is anymore. People are getting sick left and right. Tape recorders have been banned, and now, until launch, all outside communication is prohibited. Not only that, leave permits are invalid. Virgil and Arthur, the pioneers of science. I can't believe they're doing this. They've been fighting each other for weeks, so I knew something was wrong, but I never thought they would lock down the facility like this. I guess whoever is listening to these tapes, if you're in the facility, please keep them hidden, just until we can get them away from here. To someone who can help spread the truth, when I find it. Ellen here. I don't know what to do. I was sleeping in the lab when suddenly I felt something on my head. I opened my eyes and Arthur is standing over me, in the dark, holding a vial. Before I could do or say anything, he just said, "It's for the better." What? How exactly is pouring liquids into my hair for the better? I wish I'd said that. But there he was. Arthur, the CTO of Lightmatter Technologies. The man I spent years working with. The man I am helping to save the world. I could barely recognize him. can't stop Arthur. Nobody believes a man of that status would poison people like that. And apparently, losing my hair at the age of 31 isn't proof enough. I need to take more drastic measures.
How did you get all the way over there? Well, impressive. You realized how much of a waste of time you are, and took a shortcut. You're much closer to the elevator, so well done, Inspector. Now, you're not supposed to be in that part of the facility, but never mind. You will be taking what you see here to your grave. Don't worry, it's just a standard non-disclosure agreement. You must have gone through the ventilation chambers. Wait, did you wear a breathing mask? Those chambers are littered with microcrystalline particles. Expected, since they are the lungs of Lightmatter technologies. But instead of focusing on the years of life you've just lost, let's focus on the happy fact that your shortcut saved us, it's a couple of hours. Inspector, I admire competence, and you've shown some. So let me tell you a bit about my technology. The panels that you've lit up to power machinery, those are the photon power cells. You see, my former partner, Arthur, designed this part of the facility. And when he did, he used primitive copper for wiring. Once I increased the voltage, it melted. So I bypassed that idiocy by retrofitting doors, lifts, etc. with photon power cells. Those power cells function as both energy converters and switches. Clever, but you'll realize their true purpose once light matter makes its way into the world. You know, when Arthur's wiring overloaded, I was fortunate enough to get stuck in an elevator with my engineers. But I make the most out of bad situations, so we had an hour-long conversation, much like this one. I talked and they listened. Look at you, managing those lamps. I know that being in charge can feel incredible, but this is sad. Inspector, let me enlighten you. To invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. Conventional solar cells were a pile of junk until I got my hands on them. I improved upon them using photon crystals and created photoelectric cells that were actually efficient. Of course, when I succeeded, a cabal of my competitors, journalists, and windmill enthusiasts formed to try to undermine my achievements. Why did I expect any different? Competing with me is like an ant competing with a boot. Overwhelming. You seem intoxicated by opening and closing that door. Is this the first time you've held real power in your hands, Inspector? Impressive. You're the smartest inspector I've ever met. A low bar, sure, but a bar nonetheless. Oh, hold on. What an interesting phone call. My security manager, James, just got a hold of our government contacts. They told him that we were not scheduled for an inspection today. And since you are not on the guest list, James doesn't know who you are. But I do. It's obvious. You're a journalist. It fits. Your kind always go to such extremes for your stories. I would like to remind you that freedom of the press does not extend to trespassing. We'll have a talk once you get out. A journalist. I've had my fair share of experience with your kind. Always trying to make me show a sign of weakness. So let this be a reminder. I have none. Since you're a journalist, you must be here to investigate the merits of Arthur's accusations. Yes, I read the papers. I like to keep myself misinformed. Do you know what makes his lies so convincing? The small amount of truth he uses. Yes, Lightmatter caused hair loss and other minor side effects. But I solved all of that with the mineral decontaminators. And what did Arthur do? He poisoned our employees, exaggerating those side effects in his crusade to destroy me. Jealousy can be so ugly. It can be so all-consuming. It consumed our partnership, it consumed our friendship, and it almost destroyed this entire facility. Journalist, Arthur's poison project severely damaged morale. My employees weren't just losing their hair, they were losing their identity. So besides installing the decontaminators, I ordered a container full of wigs. It was a success. Everyone started using them, except me. I don't try to cover up facts. So, journalist, you will soon be out of here. But before you write a hit piece about the quote-unquote deadly shadows of Lightmatter, let's get the facts straight. The shadow anomalies are not spreading beyond the facility. They are local to the core. Also, we have had countless test runs on the core before today, and there have never been any signs of shadow anomalies. There is a simple explanation for that. You see, my engineers desperately strive to impress me. So during the launch event, one of them turned up the core's energy output. Understand, for every 100 megawatts I spend powering the core, I normally receive 107 megawatts. And today, that number increased to 111 megawatts. But I take full responsibility for my engineer's wrongdoing. I'm finding a solution, and he's finding a new career. Actually, he's probably dead. When you write about these shadows, be mindful of the words you choose. What changes nuclear power from a weapon to an energy source? Words. Think about that, journalist. Walking sideways with a lamp. Clever solution for a journalist. There we are, the entrance to research and development. I know that you're eager to explore more of Lightmatter technologies, but you overstayed your welcome long ago. If it's any consolation, I'll let you write an exclusive about me. How does that sound? Just remember that non-disclosure agreement we discussed. Also, you are trespassing, and I have a legion of lawyers. So, journalist, our time together is sadly at an end. The elevator is just upstairs. Listen, I know that I mentioned lawyers earlier. It's just that a man like me needs to be careful. I understand the need for journalists. People in power need to be held accountable. I'm no exception. I just hope you're fair when you write about me. Journalist, here's something for your exclusive. As you can probably imagine, I was a smart child. I built a calculator when I was 7 and made it solar-powered when I was 8. But the most I could ever get from my father was a half-hearted grunt of acknowledgement. Some would call that neglect. I call that motivation. Yes, there is a black cat under a ladder. But superstition is for the incompetent. Besides, that tiny, fuzzy, adorable creature would never bring bad luck to anyone. Well done, journalist. When you meet James, ask him to check the time and tell him that I won. See you on the other side. I'll think of something. Start heading back. I'll tell you when to stop.
Office, and it's worse than I thought. Arthur is trying to sabotage Lightmatter. It's not just poisonings. I found the schematics for his experiment on the core. He's not trying to improve it. He's trying to overload it. If he manages to do that, we are all going to die. I am not going to let Arthur ruin our future. I have to get to Virgil. Arthur is after me. Whoever finds this, if it's not too late, tell Virgil that Arthur needs to be stopped.
All right now, pay close attention. It seems that when it comes to you, nothing can ever be simple. That elevator was your quickest way out. But I have an idea, and it involves making this partnership mutually beneficial. You are going to be my assistant. Try to contain yourself. You will be moving deeper into the facility through our research and development department. Before I allow you in, I would like to make something abundantly clear. Be careful with what you touch, and no photographs. I'll tell you more about the plan as I work out the details. Do not make me regret this, and remember to do exactly as I say. I said no photographs. So, assistant, this is where we develop our photon connectors. Everything you see here is confidential, expensive, and fragile. Don't treat it like you treat my elevators. Or bridges. Behold, a photon connector. Ah, a beam of light so magnificent, it almost looks like matter being created before you. Fascinating, isn't it? The connectors suspend photon crystals over electromagnets. As long as they're in line of sight to what I call a mother source, they create a powerful beam of light matter. A beam so powerful that it produces a surplus of energy. Although the connectors are just prototypes for the core, they display the very essence of light matter. Know this, without the technology behind the connectors, photon crystals would be no better than diamonds, boring and devoid of function. The crystals possess great power, but it's my technology that releases and tames that power. Assistant, I think a lot about the future. In these labs, I've spent years testing the prototypes under various conditions, all to ensure the success of the core. You see, although the photon connectors have 100.2% conversion efficiency, I've reached 107% with the core. I achieved critical mass. And Arthur wanted to stop at the prototype. Madness. He was so certain that the laws of physics were unbreakable. That is where we differed. Where he saw laws, I saw suggestions. Excellent. You have overcome an obstacle and been baptized in the waters of Lightmatter. I can almost imagine the stench of journalist fading away. Ah, the core. No matter how many times we see it, it leaves us in awe, doesn't it, Assistant? This is everything Lightmatter Technologies has built towards. Every power cell, every connector, all of them combine to create this. By using photon power cells to collect the energy from a large-scale beam of light matter, I built a perpetual motion machine. Facts are facts. The energy is clean, infinite, and is about to usher in the next scientific revolution. Others will stand on my shoulders and see further than they have ever before. That will be my legacy. We will fix the side effects. Let us ignore the quakes for now. Imagine at the center of a city, a core, providing sustainable and renewable energy to millions. That is the future we are striving for. Now, you probably have your own ideas about the applications of light matter, but there's no need to write them down. We have given a small-scale prototype to a test town of 500 inhabitants. For the first time, these townspeople have access to a steady energy source. They are now thriving. Assistant, I now have the plan. To get you out, we are shutting down the core. When I left earlier, my path down there was blocked. And since I'm limited by my body, but not my mind, I wasn't able to get around the obstacles. As you have the opposite problem, you'll play a part in this. The core is very delicate. So I'll be up here in my control room managing the shutdown. As my assistant, you'll be the one pulling the lever. When I told James of this plan, he seemed jealous. You might be wondering why there are photon connectors inside an office space. Well, morale was low because of the rampant hair loss, so I implemented a Photon Fun Hour. During their breaks, employees were allowed to play with the connectors. Productivity rose by 12%. You seem tired. You need a Photon Fun Hour. Assistant, you need to know what will happen after the temporary shutdown. Once the core is off, the quakes and shadow anomalies will subside, allowing you to walk your fragile little head out of here. But more importantly, observing the shutdown will provide me the information I need to fix the side effects permanently. The core will repower, and it will shine eternally. Do you want to hear a secret? Aperture Science has an artificial intelligence prototype. They tested it by having it create the perfect cake recipe. It succeeded, but the first iterations of that recipe used neurotoxin as the primary ingredient. As a human being, I'm worried. This mineral inspection chamber makes me nostalgic. Before I discovered this mountain, Arthur had a mineral collection. He called me over one day to show off a particularly rare example he had found, a photon crystal. I could see the potential immediately. And Arthur thought it was just a rare crystal. I thought he was brain damaged. That mineral transporter was the first thing I designed after Arthur's betrayal. He always was afraid of spiders. Ignore that sign. As I've told you before, all groundbreaking technology has its kinks. Impressive. With that agility and complete disregard for your own safety, one could easily mistake you for a cat. I like cats. Look at the plants around you, Assistant. We planted them yesterday. You see, light matter accelerates photosynthesis and makes them grow at an incredible rate. Imagine applying this technology to cultivation throughout the world. Famine, mass deforestation, floods, all of these relegated to history. Light matter will not only brighten the world, it will give life. Lux, sit. Don't eat that. Come here. Where is that toy? There it is. Lux, who's a clever cat? Yeah, you are. Now fetch. Good boy. You know, assisting me with the core will be the single most important thing you will ever do in your life. Around the world, hundreds of millions of people aren't connected to the power grid. We think ourselves so enlightened, but we are surrounded by a sea of darkness. To bring light, sacrifices must be made by all of us. Nothing can stop these plants while they're exposed to light matter. Understand, the accelerated photosynthesis also allows them to regrow lost stems in a matter of minutes. It sparks the imagination, doesn't it? My engineers are already trying to grow back my leg. Assistant, by now you must understand the significance of light matter. So it's about time you learn how Arthur almost destroyed it. 3 months, and a lot of hair ago, Arthur went to the board of directors behind my back. He proved to them that light matter was causing minor side effects. It was humiliating, but I solved the problem by installing the decontaminators. That is when Arthur started poisoning people. Later, that vermin of a man had the nerve to use that as further proof to the board. While we were investigating the matter, one of my employees discovered his plan to overload the core and destroy the entire facility. Luckily, James and I stopped him before it was too late. Arthur paid for what he did, but nothing can redeem betrayal. Let me explain what betrayal is. In the mountain, before this facility, Arthur and I would work together weeks on end to finish the first photon connectors. All those cold, dark nights, and suddenly, breakthrough. A web of light surrounded us. It was mesmerizing. Betrayal is knowing that moment meant nothing to him. All right now, you're getting close to the core, but the quakes are getting... Hold on. Yes, James? James, you have brawn, not brains. My new assistant and I have the situation under control. Stay at the outpost, keep everyone safe. Goodbye. You know, assistant, I'm starting to enjoy your company and the qualities you possess. You are persistent, replaceable, and silent. Ah, you found my old briefcase. It makes me nostalgic. Long before Lightmatter, I did contract work. I was the best in the business, of course. And that briefcase, well, it was my best tool for the job. With more finesse, assistant. Well, at least you still have your legs. Let's see. Yes. You are moving into my newer, more experimental labs. Communication systems and cameras are non-existent. Now, that area is dangerous, so stick to the exit signs. We're in this together. See you soon.
Ellen here. I'm having these intense splitting headaches. They only seem to go away when I stare directly into light. And I'm not the only one. We're all slowly turning into moths, staring at lamps for hours on end. Not only that, people are still losing hair and now fingernails. It doesn't make any sense. It's been weeks since Virgil in chains handled Arthur. And still things are getting worse. I don't care what Virgil says. The decontaminators are clearly not working. And just handing us wigs isn't helping. I need to figure out exactly what Arthur was doing. And why. Ellen here. Virgil has tightened the security into Arthur's office, but I managed to get in. I'm having a closer look at his overload schematics, and his experiment could really multiply the core's output by several magnitudes. Makes sense why Virgil's still tinkering with it. Greedy old man. What else is in here? Arthur had a theory. based on... Oh, he built a prototype of his experiment on the core. It says something about... shadows. Strange. Let me see. Multiple mother sources. The crystals are overcharged. And within a certain radius. Equilibrium. The results just say stopped. What stopped? My God. Cellular degradation stopped. He found a solution. Someone's here. I've gone through Arthur's theory. The core is not a perpetual motion machine. It's the shadows. The crystals draw energy from them. They draw energy from us. Herschel knew, and he did nothing. If he activates the core, shadows will not only decay us, they will devour us. change what he did. But I need to finish his work.
Assistant, get out of there. That's Arthur's... Oh, never mind. It's not safe. Hold on. I'll open the nearest exit door for you. Do not touch anything. Did you not hear what I said? You're not qualified for that. Do you remember when I told you about the power of Lightmatter? You are currently quadrupling that power. Journalist, I know you are ambivalent about your survival, and so am I. But I will feed you to the shadows before I allow you to destroy Lightmatter. That explosion. Understand that blast injuries can be quite serious. They can cause cochlear damage, retinal failure, and most commonly, hallucinations. Keep that in mind. Now, you must do as I say. We need to fix the shadow anomalies, not kill ourselves. Journalist, you will still be pulling that lever, but your little experiment cost you your title as my assistant. I, on the other hand, still maintain the title of CEO, also known as the person who knows what he's doing. Tell me, journalist, in your day-to-day life, do your bosses hate you? Based on your recent behavior, you seem to be extremely impatient, unable to take orders, and have a ridiculous urge to push buttons. I am not impressed. Commitment to the cause would impress me. Journalist, I have an idea. Do you remember that exclusive we talked about a while back? We are going to pivot. You will be writing about Arthur. Do you know how many people he would have killed if he succeeded in overloading the core? The initial blast would have killed 290 workers in the facility. The ensuing rock slide would have killed another 80 at the surrounding outpost. In total, 370 dead, all by Arthur's hand. Now that I think about it, I hope you're a tabloid journalist. I can imagine the headline now: Lightmatter as truth shines on shadowy Arthur. Find a pen. You know, I have read the journalist's creed, journalist. It needs an update. Accuracy, fairness, and a distrust of Arthur are the fundamentals to good journalism. You are approaching the core. When you get there, control yourself. I know failure comes naturally to you, but this time we cannot afford it. If anything goes wrong, you will not only put me and yourself at risk. Everyone at the outpost, including James, will also be in peril. The core is powerful. Do not underestimate it.
yourself, James. Just grab a lamp and create a safe zone for everyone at the outpost. James, listen. We have hours before the shadows reach the nearest city. What? I don't care that it's a solution. Why would you even suggest that? You disappoint me, James. Good. This will all be over soon. The journalist is almost... Wait. Why is this on? James, I'll call you back.
Journalist, what you just heard. Remember who I am and what I've sacrificed. Lightmatter cost me my leg, my friend, and my reputation. But that is nothing. I am willing to sign my checks in blood for Lightmatter. I am a man of obsessions, Do not make yourself one of them. I've prepared the shutdown procedure. Now, pull the lever. Excellent. It worked. Huh. It's completely self-sustaining. Magnificent. Journalist, are you seeing this? Even without the mother sources, the core can power itself. Let's see. Crystals, stable. Energy levels, stable, although slightly decreased. And the shadow anomalies have not subsided. However... Yes. Listen, we have exhausted all your options for exiting the facility. But since I now know what steps to take, I will fix the shadow anomalies. Now, I do not trust you around the core, so you're staying in that room. If you're hungry, well, the human body can survive 21 days without food. And as for water, I can turn on the sprinklers. Goodbye, journalist.
Whoever is listening to this, the core can't be shut down. It needs to be destroyed. Get to the control rooms surrounding the core and you'll be able to overload it. It will neutralize shadow anomalies everywhere. I tried to do it myself, but the core is surrounded by guards. And Virgil's onto me. Nobody here is facing reality. They are ready to follow Virgil off a cliff. No one is willing to help me. But I hope you will. First off, you need to reactivate the core. Once it's on, a sequence I created will give you access to the other control rooms. Don't worry, you won't be seen. When this recording triggered, it also deactivated most cameras surrounding the core. I know overloading it sounds dangerous, but trust me, you'll survive. Good luck.
Listen, there is no easy way to say this, but once the shadows reached beyond this mountain, they started spreading exponentially. The entire planet is now engulfed by the shadow anomalies, and billions are dead, which is tragic, but also an opportunity. Just think about it. Human overpopulation and reckless energy consumption were some of the greatest challenges this planet ever faced. And now, those challenges are relegated to history. Yes, civilization has collapsed, but it will be rebuilt with Lightmatter as its foundation. Now, you have proven yourself to be a loyal assistant, so I'm opening the doors. Join me in my office. Your promotion awaits. At last we meet. Before we continue our partnership, I will now baptize you as James. The future is in our hands, James. Together, we will shape the world in my image. I've prepared the shutdown procedure. Now, pull the lever. Excellent. It worked. Huh. It's completely self-sustaining. Magnificent. Journalist, are you seeing this? Even without the mother sources, the core can power itself. Let's see. Crystals, stable. Energy levels, stable, although slightly decreased. And The shadow anomalies have not subsided. However... Yes. Listen, we have exhausted all your options for exiting the facility, but since I now know what steps to take, I will fix the shadow anomalies. Now, I do not trust you around the core, so you're staying in that room. If you're hungry, well, the human body can survive 21 days without food. And as for water, I can turn on the sprinklers. Goodbye, journalist.
Whoever is listening to this, the core can't be shut down. It needs to be destroyed. Get to the control rooms surrounding the core and you'll be able to overload it. It will neutralize shadow anomalies everywhere. I tried to do it myself, but the core is surrounded by guards. And Virgil is onto me. Nobody here is facing reality. They are ready to follow Virgil off a cliff. No one is willing to help me. But I hope you will. First off, you need to reactivate the core. Once it's on, a sequence I created will give you access to the other control rooms. Don't worry, you won't be seen. When this recording triggered, it also deactivated most cameras surrounding the core. I know overloading it sounds dangerous, but trust me, you'll survive. Good luck.
Are you already that bored? What exactly are you expecting to achieve? Wait, why are the cameras... Oh, never mind. I'm sick of looking for journalistic bait anyway. Listen, if my control room bores you, then write an article about it. I have work to do.
Lightmatter. If you proceed any further, it will annihilate you in ways... You have left me with no other choice. I will feed you to the shadows. You're not a journalist. Tell me, what were you doing before I first spotted you? Stealing photon crystals? Stealing data from our servers? I know what you are. Spy! Send you? Is your loyalty that blind? Think about that night. He tried to overload the core. What if he caused the shadow anomalies? And all of that complaining? I can't control the shadows. Well, I can't control the shadows, and that's because of him! It's all because of Argh! If the shadows destroy a couple of cities, without Lightmatter, we won't just lose cities, we'll lose our future! I am going to shove you into a hole so dark, even photon crystals won't be able to reach. Hear me, spy! So fast! Mark my words, spy! Before this is over, my shadows will disintegrate you atom by atom! James! What took you so long? What? Who is this? In the facility? When did he leave? James! Where are you, James? The spy is almost at the final switch! Get down there and stop this! Now! Listen, spy! Your crusade is over! James will find you! He will crush you! He will rip you apart! One limb at a time! And it won't be quick. No! You will suffer and you will beg! Beg for my shadows to erase you from your miserable existence! you are, spy. This is far from over. This entire mountain is fighting against you, spy! You're trapped. Our time together is finally at an end. Now watch as I close the gate and relegate you to darkness. Ah, James, you made it. You're just in time to watch this vermin get devoured by the shadows. Pest control. The applications for Lightmatter truly are... James, what are you doing? No, James, don't! James! You traitor! I thought you were better than this. Better than Arthur! Better than... You... Don't pull that lever. Do you want money? Power? Please, I will give you anything. And Arthur, he can have Lightmatter. Just think about what you're throwing away. We could power the world. We could save humanity from pollution. We could save humanity from itself.
Lightmatter is ruined. I do not have the resources to set up another operation. Last year, 200,000 died from floods, 2.5 million died from pollution, 3.4 from starvation. Yes, I was reckless, but I was reckless for them. Every shortcut I took, every moral I compromised, was for their benefit. Yes, Lightmatter had issues. But now I'll never know if I could have solved it. I was never given a chance to see if I could have solved it. Their deaths are on you.